high time frame going to the low time frame. Well, on the weekly chart, we are sweeping an intermediate weekly low inside of this fair value gap. So if it's external range liquidity on the high time frame, what am I looking for? Well, internal range liquidity to target. Well, if you go on the 1 hour, or well, more so the 4 hour, but we do end up hitting it, just ignore that. What I saw is a very imbalanced leg, and I showed this in the Discord, right? So at 8:32, which is 2 minutes after the market opened for me, I said I want 4 hour range rebalance after previous day low and previous week low taken, and you can see this is my entry. So this entire imbalanced leg is a good draw. Why is this a good draw? Well, we're reacting off of external range liquidity, so it's perfect to go to internal range liquidity. And on top of that, it's a very good internal target because it's so imbalanced, right? There's no retrace here. There's no real anything. And so price just sees this as like almost like a void in price. And obviously price wants to rebalance those voids or those imbalances. And so that's really what I was just going into the day expecting, right? And then on top of that, now that we have a high time frame justification for being bullish, we now have a kind of like mid time frame, lower time frame justification as well with this daily profile, right? You can see us accumulate, clearly manipulate, kind of like pre-market, like London-ish. It's not like the best time-wise, but still price-wise, this is a perfect AMD. And so all I'm expecting here is for my daily profile where New York is in a continuation to do what? Obviously continue up and rebalance this range because the high time frame is literally that's the only thing I can target. Because why would I target these lows after we just swept significant liquidity? There's probably not a crazy amount of a draw here versus, to the buy side. And so what did I look into, to find my entry now that I have my bullish bias from all of these things? Well, all I'm really waiting for is that bullish manipulation, right? And you can see before I go over the setup I took, I do want to cover this one, right? So I bet a lot of people took this. They're like, okay, SMT at the low. Oh my God, like SMT at all that, like now we go, right? That's our manipulation. One thing you need to understand about 930 and ranges is that if your 930 candle does absolutely nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, right? This is how 930 opened. It went a little bit lower, and y'all are taking longs like this, right? The only thing that NQ took out here was just a low time frame range. I do agree it's a good accumulation, but there's no real, high time frame gap tap. You only have a sweep of liquidity, and if your entry like ignore the SMT here. Would you ever take an entry off of just a sweep? No. So why would you, bend the rules just because an SMT is there? An SMT makes a setup more valid. It does not bring a setup into validity. All right. And you can see, yeah, this setup fails, and then this is where I get my entry, plays out to the highs, right? The 2 minutes. So let's just reverse engineer this trade and what is like the key things that y'all need to see. So for one, I want to talk about the PO3. You can see I have the daily candle up here. So this is daily opening price, right? So if we have daily opening price here, 930 opening price right here. So 930 opens, makes a little wake up, and then like daily price, just like imagine it with me. And then 945 price. So 930 opened, went into a time discount, right? Then 945 opened, did what? Went into a time discount. And then we did what on the daily? A time discount. So you can see that we're just pushing like think of it as like literally premium and discount. We're just pushing into a deeper and deeper time discount. And then on top of that, at the deepest part of that, below opening price of the day, below 930 opening price, and then below a 15-minute candle opening price that's now manipulating, we have price, perfect time manipulation, and now all we need is what? Right? The distribution. If you have everything else, you have the manipulation. You obviously, in price also includes the target. So now I have slanted highs all the way up to this external target, right? Think back to 930, how I was talking about we're in this range. Well, guess what? 930 is now outside of this range with manipulation. So this is perfect, right? We are manipulating outside of our range. We are justified by the high time frame. We have all of the time levels as well. And now we get a displacing close. Look at this 1 minute. Oh my God, it's just showing you, yeah, I don't want to be down here anymore. I want to take these highs. Unfortunately, that was not the entry candle. It was the next one. But we still got a very healthy close in the 2 minute. I did have some people say they didn't like the wick, but personally, I really wasn't bothered by it at all because the setup was perfect, right? High time frame, bullish, right? Low time frame, like kind of mid time frame, like daily profile, bullish. 930 and the daily opening, or like the daily candle, bullish, right? 930 opened in an open low high close scenario. Same with 945. So you just stack all of these confluences on top of each other. You use all that displacement, continuations clear, of course. I had my stop loss at this body, and then we ran to the high. and reversed off of that, but we're not really going to get into that. And then you can see BNQ model strikes again, 30-minute gap, tab 930 AMD Judas, news manipulation, generating LR above with high time frame reasoning for a rebounds. Super, super good. And then also today I'm requesting a payout. I might make a video about that. I might not. I don't really publicize my payouts, honestly. But yeah, very, very good trade. Like, this is the epitome of a BNQ setup, right? So BNQ is just my name. I didn't really, come up with the best name. But in this scenario, a lot of people take this inversion thinking it's valid, right? And they get chopped up. They think the SMT carries them. But if you trade the model correctly, you would understand that this is the correct move, and you would catch that win today. Hope y'all enjoyed, and if y'all do want to see more, join up to the Discord. I do reviews every day at 11, so if you'd like to see my trade reviewed or your trade reviewed, make sure you join up on that. And yeah, hope y'all enjoyed.